So before we start, there's 2 minutes to look through. So I think Maggie passed out the ones for October. And we also I'm going to pass out the ones for September. So if you looked at them, you don't need to read them again, but if you haven't, then please review them. There you go.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, I see. Oh, they came out nice.
Hey, Al. What's the lady's name is doing or something?
First round, yeah.
Michelle, sounds good.
Thank you.
When's September 1?
On the right, lower right.
Thank you.
That's a great color, yeah. Blue is a really great shade of blue. Oh, good. There's so many shades of blue. Little did you know.
That's kind of blue wave.
It's Darien blue, is that
Seven and
Yes.
half a 7.5, so I think that's right. But I know it's Sarah's going to
Thanks, Al.
Just wait till he's ready. Not you, Ken, are you ready, Ken? Come on.
We're going live?
No, not live.
Okay.
Tell us when you're ready.
Believe I'm ready?
Okay?
Yes.
Okay, welcome everybody. This is a meeting of the Darien 2020 Bicentennial Committee, Subcommittee of Monuments and Ceremonies. It's Wednesday, November 13th at 11 o'clock at Town Hall. Hi, Sarah. So we do have a quorum. Before we approve the minutes, we have a couple of new people here. There's Michelle Saldivar here. She's filling a critical need. She's going to be doing social media. And also she's been working a little bit with the seniors, so we'll tell you a little bit about that when we're on the program. And I think everybody knows everybody else. Jimmy or Chris, do you want to introduce?
So Chris is a bit of a guest, I guess, for today. Chris Filmer works a lot with Parks and Rec as well as the town in general. He does so much for us. So do you want me just to go into my little...
Why don't we do the minutes first?
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Chris.
So, has everybody gotten a chance to read the minutes? We've got 2 minutes to approve because last month we didn't have a quorum. So we've got September and October. And I did email them out. I'll give everybody a couple of minutes or.
I move to approve.
Any
ready?
second?
Sure.
Everybody,
Is this September?
This is September,
Yeah.
so we're approving the September.
Approve.
Everybody who says aye, say aye.
Aye.
Raise your hand. Any rejections? Any abstentions? It's unanimously approved the September meeting.
Beautiful.
Is there a motion to approve the October meeting?
So moved. Motion to approve? I guess I can't move it. I
Second?
can't move it because I'm going to have to abstain. Never mind.
Okay. Second, Lydia seconds. All those who approve the October minutes say aye.
Aye.
Raise their hand. Any not to approve? Reject? Any abstentions? One abstention? Okay, so moved. Both the September and the October minutes have been approved. So now, Jamie, you want to
Okay. So,
have a special guest here today?
yes, so I work with Chris on a lot of different things, but one of them is he's the president of the Friends of Selleck's Woods, one of our parks, and they host an annual fundraiser each year, and we assist with that event, and we've chatted a little bit. I'm on the committee for it, and we thought that it could potentially be a really fun idea to try to theme the event this year for 2020. I think it could be a win-win for both of us. The event is geared towards young families, but there's a little bit of something for everyone there. For the kids, we do a whole adventure land where it's like a little challenge course, which I think could be one of the potential areas, which would be a lot of fun to theme 2020. We have an archery section, like a swinging plank, and different things like that. So like that could be a lot of fun to get creative with. We also did a fairy village throughout the park last year, so maybe potentially something there, or we talked about maybe having stations for like talking about history, because we do stations for like the creatures in the pond and the other nature type things that are going on. So we thought there was some potential there. I'm not going to take all of Chris's thunder, but the timing of the event is really awesome for us for marketing purposes. It's right in the middle of May, so it would be right before not only the Bicentennial Bash, but Anniversary Day. So it would be a really good opportunity for us to be there on site, handing out stuff and kind of getting the word out there for some of our bigger events as well. And just a great way for maybe Chris to pull in some people that we haven't had in the past. We had a sign-in sheet, and we had 150 families actually sign in last year, so we had a great turnout last year. And it's just a really fun event, and it's a way for us to showcase our park that some people don't know about, whether it's for exercising or nature enthusiasts. There's a lot of other factors than just going with your kids. So there's a lot of great things to come out of the event. And overall, we just really love Chris. He's very devoted to the town and Parks and Rec. And so there's not another reason to partner. We just wanted to support him, and it's a great way to celebrate kind of our local community. So he wanted to kind of talk about the park and the event and see if we had any interest in kind of trying to do something together for it. And he doesn't want to lose the integrity of the event. We already have a committee, we already have kind of a plan, but we thought it'd be fun to kind of twist a couple of things that they had planned to theme 2020. Chris.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. I don't believe half of that. Yeah, this is basically exploratory. I have not talked to either of our boards that I was going to be here today, but I was talking to Pam and to Jamie, and they said, well, why don't you just talk to the committee and we can see whether there's a fit here somewhere. So that's where I am. Pastor, I would like to ask one question. How many of you have ever been to Selleck's Woods?
Oh, there we go.
That's good. Because I had a little brochure here with a map in the middle, and I was going to start by asking you to take a look at it and make sure that you understood what we were talking about. Because we're talking about 50 acres of land. 28 acres of it is owned by the town. It's called Selleck's Woods. And the other part is owned by the Darien Land Trust. Now, I'm a board member on both those boards, so I can straddle it. Don't see the difference between the two, other than they complement each other. The birds don't know the difference. We don't know. So we have got a piece of land that was very badly abused. The lake that you see in the middle of this map here, or on the side, it was actually a wetland before they built I-95, which runs right up next to it. And what they did was they just kept on plowing on with I-95. There was a wetland there, and in those days you could do these sort of things. They just simply took bulldozers and backhoes and just took the soil, used it as a borrow pit through the soil up to bank I-95, and they left behind a 7-acre lake. The part on the right of this map is Selleck's Woods, which was a farm. We think it was a sheep farm, because a lot of stone walls that would have been appropriate for a sheep farm. And what we do with it at the moment is the left-hand part of it, where you see all the trails, is really what people see when they go there. On the right-hand side is actually wetland itself, and we keep that as a complete sanctuary for animals. There are no trails in there. The land trust trusts the Friends of Selleck's Woods to look after everything. And we have a committee, and we've had 20 years now experience. We had to get rid of all the damage done by motorcycles that used to go in there and race around. Dogs just used to run free, scare away all the animals. It was clearly a good place to have a beer, and there were a lot of cans around. There were also a lot of shotgun shells, so people were shooting in there. So we really just took control of it. We applied to the town for funding. We were not able to do that for 3 years, so we decided to do it ourselves. We formed this organization, and over those years we've raised $90,000, and we've spent at least 80 of that 90,000 to make Selleck's Woods look more like this. And we're very keen to preserve it as a place for quiet recreation. We hope that people will find a source of personal renewal when they go there, and kids maybe a sense of wonder and of education and learning. So what we've done is we used to do it every 2 years, but more recently every year, we have a festival or a celebration which usually only lasts from about 11 to 3. We invite everybody to come, and we put on a bit of a show. We have a little village there with tents, and people like the nature preserve, what am I thinking? The nature centre have a kiosk, and some of the other conservation groups come and help us. We have guides, and the kids go in and enjoy, as Jamie was saying. We have an adventure land where they test their forest skills. Actually, this year we had a zip line too. It was very popular. And we have a little gnome and fairy world, and we talk about nature. So that's what we were planning to do this coming year. And when we heard that you had what looked like a pretty exciting show in mind, if you like, it's spread out over the whole year as I hear about it, whether there was any sense in finding a mesh, combined effort which met both our sort of aims. And basically that's really why I'm here. I don't have any ideas as to what it should be like, but I just wanted to leave you with a kind of mental picture of what we're talking about. The one thing I must mention is Selleck's family owned a lot of land where the Tokenique school is, and around that area, and it stretches across to Selleck's Woods, which they own. And they were a family of some note in town. However, when the Loyalists and the Patriots came together, they were on the other side. So most of the Selleck's family are in Canada. We have had some contact with their relatives, but I have, in the interests of full disclosure, it carries their name, but that was all. So that's where I am. Al, I haven't got any positive suggestions, but
Thank you very much.
at least that you know where we are.
What's the date, Chris, for your event in May?
It's Sunday, May 17th.
And does the event have a title?
Well, we've usually called it, you see that other one, the smaller sign? It says Trails Discovery Days.
Okay.
But we've changed it. We've called it the Festival of the Woods before. We've called it Celebration. So, you know, one of the thoughts is maybe this is a
Opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
celebration.
Is there a charge to, no charge?
Well, yeah, on and off we've charged. It's very nominal. Next year we were thinking of charging $10 for family and $5 for individual. Not really a money-making event.
There's we've been, in the course of planning these events, there's been an idea floated around of having a trail with people, like actors, on the trail from town history. I know Richfield does something similar in the woods, and not only for this event it might work for, but a couple other things. And I'm wondering if maybe the Art Center, the High School Drama Club could maybe start working together and, you know, coming up and working with Ken at the Society about building these characters.
Sort of prominent historic figures.
Yeah, like, well, you know, you'd come around the corner of the trail and you'd see Thaddeus Bell,
Right.
and he'd say something, a few words, or a Selick, and
That would be fun.
yeah, wouldn't it be
Yeah, that
fun?
would be fun.
Yeah.
We thought we were talking about this
Yeah.
prior to this
You could
meeting.
have an encampment of some soldiers,
Yeah.
like they were
Yeah.
really in the woods.
Right, yeah, that's
Maybe
true.
Karen
too.
will-
And so that we're also working with the 5th Connecticut Regiment and they should be involved too in that group if they ever wanted to get together like another committee, because I just think it would work in a lot of different and would be really educational. And there's also 2 other points. I noticed, was there some communication with At Home in Darien? They're working with kids for a bicentennial project to, like, on stones, and they were thinking
Yeah,
like a
there's-
scavenger hunt.
Right,
That might work really well
Yeah,
with
right.
the festival as well. And then the
Who is
last
that?
thing,
at home in Darien.
Oh, that one.
mhm. And the last thing I'm thinking is, I wonder if there's potential for like
Room
an
deal,
archaeological
yeah.
dig.
We can talk about that.
I wonder if there's a potential somewhere in the woods for an archaeological dig to take place. You know, the sheep farm had me interested, and I know there's a archaeologist in Norwalk who teaches at Norwalk Community College, and I wonder if it would be worth him coming out and just like looking at the site and seeing.
You also now have as a board member a world-class metal detector
Oh,
guy.
right. Oh, yeah.
Historical Society.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And he does like group events.
I don't know,
Like,
does he?
I think he
I don't
does.
know.
Yeah, like internationally he's done this, so that might be really something.
Was there a farmhouse there at one time?
Do they know where it was?
No, we found some sort of concrete foundations, but it was very small. It must have been a shed. I don't think there was any building there.
Because one of my neighbors that had an antique home was excavating and doing some little digging around her stone wall
Mhm.
and found all sorts of antique artifacts.
Oh, really?
Because apparently that's where people buried their trash.
Right.
They didn't bury it, they just threw
They
it
would,
there.
it ended up getting buried, but it would be over by the stone wall. And
Yeah.
she found some really, really
The
interesting,
trash heaps are
See, what you would
really interesting things that could be kind of fun about digging around the stone walls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dumpster diggers.
while you're thinking of this, keep in mind the fact that there were not woods then. There were no woods there.
Oh.
There were no woods in town.
Cut down.
And
That's right, yeah.
None in town. It was all farm, entirely farm.
Okay,
We had the guys that go around with the metal detectors there,
yeah, that's what he does.
and they, at the end of it, after their donuts and coffee were all finished, they said all they found were shells from shotguns and shotguns, and they found one plow. And they looked up the Sears catalog and found it. It's exactly the same.
Wow.
Wow.
Darn, they didn't find any money.
No treasure
That they reported.
Okay. I mean, thank you very much, Chris. A lot of good information, and yeah, we talked about this. The one who does the metal detecting or whatever, he was actually in England, and he found some incredible things there that he was noted for, actually.
Right.
Yeah, he had went back to England to get an award from the British Museum
Yeah, right.
for a hoard of guess, Celtic
Relics.
stuff that he, found in a burial someplace out in Shropshire or somewhere. Yeah, but he's always working around here.
I should ask him all that.
Okay,
I think it sounds
He
great.
found
that
it.
does, we'll definitely be in contact.
And I'll just say too, I'm on the committee for his event as well. So if anyone has ideas or they want to like throw something out there to his board, I'm happy to be the middleman. I don't want anything because you raise your hand with an idea, you have to like show up to their meetings or you're automatically volunteering for it. Like I'm happy to be that kind of mediator in between. Or if you guys have ideas, I can bring them back as well.
I just wanted to go back to the boards and say, listen, we have your ear, and if it's suitable and practical, then we can start planning.
Okay. Fantastic.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks,
For this and everything.
For everything you do in Darien, every time I turn around, there's Chris. No matter what meeting it is, different facilities, different parts of town, he's there.
We do have some new members here, new volunteers here, so I just wanted to mention, I forgot to mention in the beginning, that we are being televised here, we are being recorded, so it will be on the town website, so everybody knows it will be recorded. Any yes votes will be recorded, and any no votes will be recorded on any time we vote. Then the next thing on the agenda is the finances. Libby, do you want to speak to this?
I could speak to it.
Okay.
Things are pretty stable. We have about $16,500 between the town grants and individual donors. We also have a committed bronze sponsor that we haven't collected yet, so
Which is
that's another
$1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah.
And against that, we have about, I just got an invoice for $1,600 today, so we have about $5,500 expenses against that. So that leaves us currently with about $11,000 plus the $1,000 bronze
Right.
donor. So,
Okay.
enough to cover some expenses, and we're, I guess, reaching out to businesses in town and to gather other sponsors.
So, we're, thanks to Janie and Parks and Rec and Jim Coughlin, they're working on doing the online contributions, basically through credit cards. And we're almost there. I gave them some, both for businesses and individuals. So the businesses, the stuff that Sarah and Maggie and Lori wrote, that'll be on the website. When they click on it, donations, it'll go sponsors, and it'll have gold, silver, bronze, and
Perfect.
And then any individuals will have the different ones. Yeah, so that's really good. It
really
goes to the Parks and
important.
Rec. And Jamie's
Yeah,
working
we're really
on it,
excited
and Jim
about
and the Parks and Rec. So thank you very much. We're almost there.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
We pretty much we got the wording for kind of what they wanted it to actually look like, business, the sponsorship versus just an individual donation. So we just kind of need to update the system with that information so that it looks how we want it to look. And then the functionality is there.
And then we have the wording that you got about the tax deductible.
Right,
stuff
we got
about
from the
finance. So,
lawyers and stuff. I think that's gonna make a big difference, having
Huge
that
difference.
ability.
Yeah, that's a big plus. But anybody out there in TV land,
So we'll have a
Or
big
here.
donate button, right? I mean, when
You
they
can
get to
still-
the page, there'll be like a big donate button somewhere.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. And you click on it and then it kind of goes to their software.
Yep, yep, sounds
They-
fantastic.
They have it all.
It's really
Like when you
user
buy a
friendly.
ticket to the Weed Beach Fest.
There you go.
That's what it's like.
But
That's
anybody
exactly
out
right.
there or here, make your checks payable to the town of Darien, put 2020 Bicentennial in the comments section, and address it to Town of Darien, 2 Renshaw Road, Darien, Connecticut, 06820. You don't have to wait for this software to come to get going. So we'll move on to the events. Maggie, do you want to talk to the opening ceremony or should I?
Sure. So what has changed for the opening ceremony, I guess, is that we're having a party afterward, and it's going to be sponsored by the Darien Arts Center and the Darien Historical Society. So we're just building figuring out like how much the tickets will be and registration and things like that. It's gonna be about 100 people, right? Because
They have, the fire department their room has a maximum of about 100 people.
100 people, so it'll be about 100 people event. And then we're planning also where Scott Pelley is going to be signing books. It'll be like right outside the auditorium, maybe to the left or right, we haven't decided. And then we'll have a table with merchandise, hopefully. And so it's all coming together really well. And I'm just thrilled about the Darien Arts Center party.
Yeah.
Thank you, Darien Arts Center.
Yeah, thank you. They're co-sponsoring it, and thank the Darien Historical Society as well.
Yeah.
They go out with champagne toast and hors d'oeuvres, and there's going to be a piano player there. It's going to be
That sounds
really,
fun.
really good. Yeah, it does sound fun.
Do you have a piano
Yeah.
player?
We're
Amy said she did.
me
Amy,
and
Alan, and
Maggie
then
is
Maggie.
Okay,
Maggie. They're
okay.
working
So
on
say-
that, but
Okay.
Do you have one too?
Do you have one too?
Well, there's a young man whose CD we're selling who actually did that arts, she may be talking about the same guy, Art Center talent show a number of years ago. He's phenomenal. He's,
Great.
okay.
Well, do you want to
That's
share his info with me and we'll
Yeah,
call, because there's
Sure,
a
sure.
few of them. Yeah, just gonna
Or we can- that's-
price.
yeah.
We're looking for
Or
free.
if you want to.
Free? Well, I don't know, he's a young guy, I don't know, he's on CD and he's
Is he
really
a Darien
impressive.
resident too? He's a Darien resident?
I'm not sure, I
Oh,
think
okay.
before he was either New Canaan, went to school in New Canaan, so.
Okay,
But, his parents have been in the store several times.
great.
So the ceremony starts at 7 o'clock, 6:30 the doors are open. 6:30 to 7, I've got the tutor singers, they'll sing for about 15 minutes. We're gonna do a slideshow presentation, just, scrolling through while the tutor singers sing. At 7:05, we'll have, hopefully the color guard, Boy Scout color guard come out. They'll sing the national anthem. Then Jamie will say something. Our ranking dignitary will say something. Kate. So we have acceptances from Terry.
6.
6.
Oh,
And then
good.
we still have some outstanding,
Right.
We're doing little nudges.
Yeah, right. We've invited all the state and federal representatives, and so far we're getting, also former first selectmen we've invited, Levi Klein is coming, and so that's really, really coming. So then they'll say something, then we'll have Scott Kelly say something, and then we'll finish with the tutor singers, and we'll be signing books afterwards.
Oh, and we're working with the AV.
Yes, thank goodness. Oh, yeah, he is fantastic. So we'll get an estimate from him. The town hall, it's going to be at the Darien Town Hall. They really don't have any projector or anything like that, any mixers for the mics and stuff like that. So he's going to work through that. He's going to give us an
Jeff
estimate.
DeMaio.
Jeff DeMaio.
Yeah, he's great.
He is so fantastic, and he's a lifesaver because I don't know how this would happen without somebody who really knows
And he really
what's
knows
going on.
the town
He
hall, and he
absolutely
knows
knows
his
what's-
stuff.
And thanks to TV 79, they're going to be broadcasting. this.
Yay, TV 79.
Is Thaddeus Eastbound any of the murals in Town Hall?
No.
No.
So-
The date and the snow date, do you want to announce that too?
They were all,
No, it is on the
murals were
11th.
primarily
So
So
colored.
people out there know.
Yeah, the snow day is the 11th at 2
I haven't
o'clock.
looked at them that closely.
Thank you.
But that
Um,
is specifically.
Is there still a party on the snow date? Like, how does that work? Everything just rolls over?
Yeah, I think, yeah. We'll definitely have a party.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, I wonder if
Did I
I
mention the
want
snow
jumpers.
date?
Yeah,
Oh,
2 o'clock, the doors will open at 1:30 at Town Hall, and then afterwards at the Darien Arts Center. So if you're at the Darien Arts Center, if you're at the Town Hall, if you go to the stage and in back, there's some stairs, and then you go down a fire escape and you're at the Darien Arts Center, which is really great because it's going to be in January, so you really don't hardly even have to go outside.
Buy your tickets.
Very, very, yeah.
yeah.
And that's at 8:15.
Around 8:15, yeah, do you want to talk about the birthday bash at all?
Yeah, we have a couple of updates. The subcommittee's been meeting. We have confirmed event times at this point. The event will take place from 12 to 7 p.m. and this is June 6th, Saturday.
June 6th.
Yes, ma'am. And we have the Kids Cove area. I don't know if we'll get a little creative with that name or not, but it's kind of like our games area. It's a bit of a free-for-all for kids. That'll go from 12 to 5. And then usually at the 5 o'clock mark is when we start, it's when our final band will come on and we kind of make it more adulty at that point. We have some ideas we're trying to figure out. We thought maybe doing some Darien trivia would be fun, especially in between bands. Doing maybe a 200 items contest, see who can bring the most interesting 200 of something item. Our cake decorating is a go. We are going to be able to do the mini cakes. We'll have 200. We're going to try to have them all decorated at the same time. We'll see how that kind of looks on once we actually really diagram that out. But Chef Lisa, who does our cooking classes, is going to be assisting with that. And we also thought about maybe doing some sort of like contest for the most Darien cake, or like coming up with like a couple of different things to do in awards. And then when the cake decorating time ends, we'll do a cakewalk around all the tables in front of the stage and having the band do happy birthday while they walk around. And we have some other fun ideas potentially there, but we've got to work. We're thinking about trying to partner with the Depot for some other kind of birthday ideas to involve. So yeah, and then we wanted to talk to either the Arts Center or Drama or the 5th Connecticut Regiment about potentially, if we're hoping to have completed the trail, the meadow and trail.
Well, never gonna happen.
No?
Yeah, no. I think that's not gonna be done by the 6th.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, it just, I mean, I don't want to bore.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everyone's so excited about it. It's great. It's just turning into a really more complicated. You know how it is with something. We don't want to do it rushed, and we don't want to do it wrong. And like the bids came in much higher, and then the contractors got to go back. And to put it in perspective, Darien Athletic Foundation, who the Darien Foundation and the town are partnering with this on. It's taken them like 5 years to get Diller done, so they're sort of, we're like, why did we think we could do this in 6 months? So I think that's maybe there'll be some kind of a christening or presentation or kickoff, but
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. Well, the original idea was doing kind of what Maggie referenced earlier for the other event, was doing some sort of like historical stations around the trail, and we thought it'd be a way to showcase like the trail.
Yeah,
but
that would be cool.
I still
Wouldn't it be
think
awesome. It would have been great.
But I still think that concept would be really fun, whether we had people walking around, just stopping and like engaging with the kids.
There is a trail there, but it's just not going to be paved and all boardwalky and stuff.
Right. So I don't know. It's kind of something to
up on the stage in between bands. And do
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So we have some different ideas, and we still have kind of an area of the beach we're not utilizing, so we're looking into some other ideas for that space as well. So if anybody still wants to kind of throw stuff out there, but also I have an idea for an MC, but if anybody has anyone that they would suggest, we need someone with a lot of energy and can kind of engage with the crowd. And we've had the same guy forever, and we don't have him this year. So. If anyone has anyone to suggest, I'd be happy to hear it. And that kind of goes with bands too. I kind of have a lineup in my head, but I'm happy to hear any suggestions from anyone as well.
With your MC, what are you looking for?
So generally, they're not only introducing the bands, but they would get up anytime we had a song break. They kind of let everyone know what all is going on around, as well as give the sponsors their shout out. And then anytime we have a band break, they're generally running whatever games we have going on. Anything from, if we were trying to do the cake decorating to a trivia to, in the past we've done like tug of war and things like that, where we're trying to get the families to combine with the kids. And the beach is acoustically challenging, so it's very hard for like you to gather people into one area. So we're very dependent on the MC to be attention grabbing and be able to help us kind of gather people for anything we want to do at one set time. So it's just kind of.
Is it you want a resident? Or
I
do
would
you want
love for it to be a Darien
Or do you want
resident.
a character?
I would love for it to be a Darien resident, but if that's not.
I have
possible.
I have somebody in mind. I can tell you.
Maybe,
Okay.
and also
Yeah,
maybe
characters.
like so, and also maybe Amy Allen would know, like all the sort of theatery type people, or maybe Jeff DiMaio because he does a lot of stuff
Yeah,
with the kids on stage.
Absolutely. Do you know Jeff?
Yes, he does our sound for the event.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Oh, sorry.
Okay, no, those are great suggestions, but yeah, so just feel free, please let me know any ideas. You don't have to come to the subcommittee meeting to tell me something, so.
As far as bands, have you talked to David Genovese since he does the thing in the summer?
I have in the past, so I kind of have his suggested list that we've used in the past. So
Okay.
we generally we do one local band and then we try to hire a couple. But I'm wondering this year if maybe we do the final band is usually our big headliner. So maybe we keep that as a headlining band, but maybe we do 2 local bands in honor of the 200th birthday. So I don't know, I keep kind of going back and forth, so I'd like to hear others' kind of thoughts.
Good. So the Anniversary Day and Heritage Day, I'm going to kind of skip over. We're kind of getting pressed for time, but Anniversary Day, we did go look at the size of the tent installer. So we are working on that Anniversary Day and Parents Week and Heritage Day. Education and merchandising.
Make it really quick. Education, we're still working on that. That won't roll out till probably January, February, and it's a list of suggested activities for the different schools. I'm working with Lucy on that to cover middle school, high school. I'll let you know next meeting. Merchandise is here. It's great. We have the first lot that came in with the t-shirts. This is how these students liked this on the front, and then the back is Darien. These were done with the, what I'm told, Darien blue. You'll see we have a different blue here. This is a navy, more of a navy blue. It's almost a little too dark. What's on the computer never comes out properly, so this is going to be we'll have multiple versions here. The next version of shirt is going to have the logo on the back with the Darien established here. We're also going to have hats that have the 068-200 in the same colors as the postcard.
Very cool.
So I
Fantastic.
have all of these. I have a bunch of these shirts if anyone wants them. They're ready and available, $20. Just let me know. A lot of these shirts are going to go to the middle school, and we're starting to roll that out. We will be at some of the grocery stores, we believe. We're just waiting on final approval. And that will all be run by the students, not adults. The students will be sitting at the tables. We will have a table at the opening ceremony. And again, anyone can contact me for them because I have them.
Should we write a press release about the merchandise? to get
Yes,
it out?
absolutely, that
Okay.
would be lovely. What else? $20 cash or check. We're not doing any sort of fancy charge thing.
Are both $20 the hats?
Yes,
Okay.
t-shirts and hats, make it very simple. We just went through this, it all includes the tax, it's just short and sweet. The grocery bags, those will be available in early December, so when we hit the grocery stores with the supplies, we'll have those. It's not going to be a canvas bag, I know we talked about an actual canvas bag. It is going to be more of the bags that you see out there. The canvas just ended up extremely expensive. So, yes, anyone want anything, let me know, I have lots of this.
And different sizes?
Oh, and yes, so right here I have samples of small, medium, large, so you can look at them all. Susan was asking about colors of hats. This is a khaki color, we're probably gonna do an oatmeal color as well, but keep it very simple, I'm not gonna get 40 different colors. But anyone have any other thoughts, ideas, or suggestions, please let me know.
No, it's great.
Do you also have extra large?
Yes.
Any reason why you wouldn't do a white cap?
We actually did a sample on it and it's just too stark. So the oatmeal is sort of just off.
Yeah.
And the yellow
And it
would
actually is a
probably-
little bit better looking. The white just
Yeah.
didn't do it for us.
Looks great.
That looks great. Very nice.
So probably in a couple weeks or a month, I'll have the 068-200, but I have this now.
Those 3 items, and any others?
What do you mean in terms of t-shirts?
Like magnets or any other kind of?
We haven't gone there yet. We want
Okay.
to sort of roll it out slowly because it's dated material and see how it goes.
Great
But
job,
yes, we did
Sarah.
go into the.
It's a lot of work.
Great job for you to have this party.
But she is, like she said, will have the reusable grocery bags.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's not the-
Probably not in time for Thanksgiving, but maybe.
Every door direct mailing, so thank you Maggie and Sarah. all the text is written in the pictures, and Jamie's,
She got the thing you sent her, so
Right,
she's
yeah.
working on it.
great.
So
So
we should
that's
have
the
a draft
second
very
mailing.
soon.
Is that the
yeah.
trifold thing?
That's the
Yeah.
trifold, and I went to our printer to get an estimate. He's still working on it. We're thinking to have a donation envelope in the trifold as well.
Yeah.
I do have one point I meant to make. For expenses over $250, we're supposed to have a purchase order before, we submit the invoice. So if you speak to vendors and you get a quote or something, if you can just let me know so I can contact the finance department and get a purchase order going. And then when you get the invoice, they'll already have it all set and I can, proceed with that. So I did confirm that this morning, so.
So Historical Marker Project, thanks again to the Darien Foundation for their generosity
Wait,
and
can I ask you one more
sponsorship.
question? Susan sent a very informative email about, so the drop dead date that everything's gotta be finalized is the 5th of December, right, for the mailer?
Well, originally, you all, I believe, have moved up the date of the mailer.
What is the date?
second mailer. When we originally started this, we were gonna drop it January 2nd.
Yeah, I think we're dropping it sooner than that.
And then I saw in the minutes that it's moved up, so that just it moves up everything in terms of.
Do we, so we'll take this offline since we're limited time, but Maggie and I just wanna know, because I'm away that week of Thanksgiving, we'll get this sewn up with Jamie
Okay.
as soon as possible, but I just wanna know when it needs to be done. I mean, she's really good at,
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so on to the next one.
And I'll get working again. Anyway, thanks again with the Darien Foundation. Claire Hunter is writing up we've got 8 sites that are funded, and Claire Hunter is writing up the stuff, and that's what we're working on now. So communication, sponsorship, town website is the next item on the agenda. So as far as sponsorship, thanks again to Sarah and Maggie for writing.
Busy.
They have been very, very busy, and Lori.
And Lori,
I'm
who
sorry,
had a
and Lori.
last minute thing come up, but she wouldn't have been here.
Right. So we've got a bunch of envelopes that I'm gonna do thank you cards on, and then this is the, a letter asking for for a donation. And then, talking about our mission and everything about 06220, and all the committee members are listed here, as well as gold, silver, and bronze, and the different levels you get. Sponsors will get different things for different levels. And then, and this will also be on the website. I think it went out yesterday. It was gonna be mailed out Monday, and Monday was Veterans Day, so the post office was closed. So I think they all went out. He said he'd get them out Tuesday. They're doing about 750, almost all the businesses in Darien. They're mailing them to everybody, just about everybody.
Yeah, and Lori went through and culled the list, because some of it was there was I think over 1,000 businesses,
Right,
so we
yeah.
have to give extra snaps to her, because some of it was people who had interior design businesses out of their house, so she spent a lot of time culling out
Yeah.
the list to make sure we didn't,
Duplicate.
send it to
I've done it.
It was a real challenge.
She should get her accolades for going through it
Her
all.
whole weekend, I think, but anyway. So it's exciting, we're moving forward, guys.
Absolutely.
May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I'm wondering if the group would allow, it just popped into my head actually yesterday, is I'm going to be working on, I'm thinking ahead to the directory for the chamber for 2020. We usually, it comes out in March. In the past 4 or 5 years, we've had Nobu's folk art on the cover. We print about 5,700 copies. It goes to every resident who subscribes to the Darien Times. We have it in bulk at Town Hall. We give it to realtors. We give it to people who move to town. We have it at all our chamber events. So I was just thinking, because I had the card on my bookshelf at my office, could we possibly use the creative for the chamber or a version of it for the directory for next year? And
This is your cover?
yeah, this is the chamber directory.
Oh, I'd love
And
that.
maybe use the logo in some
Yeah,
form.
That'd be really cool.
But I know you're very protective of the logo, and I don't know whether we could use the card, but that's,
Absolutely.
I think
She's
it's
been
great.
she's been very
Great.
generous, we've sent it out to a bunch of people. We've
I
been
think
very
it's
generous
great.
with the logo.
Well, I think the purpose was we wanted a non-profit, not for everybody to just
Yeah.
run with it. And to me, personally, I use that directory for so many things.
Absolutely,
It would be,
good. Oh, good
it would be
idea.
yeah,
beautiful.
so, I mean, even if I took the card
Or you
and
can-
I had, I guess I probably have to work with your
Well, if you wanna send me the specs, I could ask Jamie to
person
spin it
and
out for
see
you.
if maybe we could do something
Yeah,
Oh,
with
that's
this.
great.
Yeah, totally.
You know, pop the logo into one of these photos
Yeah.
instead, and then it would say chamber, you know, local
But
directory,
no
news you
logo
can
combo with the
use,
photo. None of that.
and do it that way.
Yeah, that sounds great.
That would
Why
be
don't we, I just gotta get her through this project right now and then.
I don't have to worry about it
Yeah, so
now,
then,
it's
but
usually
she
around,
turns, she could turn stuff like that, like, if you give me
January.
the specific specs for her, we should probably do it sooner, cause I know she's getting all our Rock the Yacht stuff in January for the Darien Foundation, but if you give me the specs, she could do some mocks, and you and Sarah could approve,
Okay,
you know, Maggie and
so-
that,
great, yeah, thank you.
Nice.
So, that is a great idea, thank you, Susan. So yeah, 750 of these are going
Great
out.
idea.
We had, we did an estimate, months ago, we said, for all the mailings, about $1,000 to print it out and everything. It's turning out to be a little bit more, I think it's gonna be $1135, so a little bit more than $1,000. We're using the town permit. We estimated $150 for the postage. I haven't gotten the bill yet, but probably even with the town permit, will probably be about $200. So it's a little over, but
Well, Phil
750.
just went up, that's what's happened.
Yeah. And 750 is, I didn't think we were gonna do that many, 750. So if you add that all up, I don't know if it's gonna be, I didn't get all the invoices yet, so maybe $1,400. I think we should vote on this if.
Yeah, we just need one and a half bronze sponsors to
Absolutely.
break even.
So
I mean,
is there a motion
we've already
to
gotten a
say?
sponsor, so I think.
It's already, so is
Well-
there a motion to?
If you send it to me in a PDF, I'll send it out in my constant contact to the chamber members.
Oh, that would be amazing.
And then it would say, you know, look for this in your mail, or click here.
Great. That would be great. Huge.
And since between the postage and the mailings and everything, it's a little bit over, is there a motion to approve $1,500?
Yes, we approve. Oh,
And-
no, sorry. A motion to approve. Sorry, I don't have that kind of power.
Everybody-
I motion to vote, sorry. There we go.
And seconded?
Second.
And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, so moved. Good. So
Who
that's
has that in
exciting.
PDF?
I do, Al does, everybody does.
How about if you send,
Yeah,
can you
yeah,
send it to me?
Yeah.
It's
So-
I'll do
It
it.
should be on the website and.
I can send it to you, I have it.
If you just
I'll
send it to me,
forward
it makes
you
it
when I'm at my
easier for me to
computer.
pick it.
No problem.
So there's another project that's going on that I'm really excited about. Michelle here, Saldivar is headlining it. She's been doing social media. We have to work with the town a little bit more on that, but getting some of our seniors involved. She's in contact with the Darien Times and other newspapers as well, we'll contact. We're gonna be highlighting some of their stories, as well maybe a picture, right? That'll be really good, and also, on the opening ceremony, we're gonna have that slideshow presentation, if we can do it in time. Some of the slides may be a picture of some of our older residents who are lifelong residents here, with maybe a paragraph or something. A quote, something like that. So we're calling, the faith community has given us, Norwood Presbyterian has given us a list of people, and we've gotten, Martha is getting a list as well, so. Anybody out there, we're interested in lifelong residents, kind of senior citizens, if they're interested, go to the website or contact me in the email. And-
Mia's father is actually, he's like 93, and he was the what do you call it, the grand poobah of the parade? Grand Marshal, whatever that is. Sorry. Not last year, but the year before. He fought in World War II. He has all these great Darien stories, so he'd be a good person.
Okay, so Michelle, great
Such a
program.
great
Anything
idea.
else?
Sad we just lost Pat Parlay.
Yeah, we just lost one.
Yeah, and I'm working also with the senior center.
Maplewood, Patriot, and others. So please let me know. You can let me know through Al, or he's got
My boss, who's not the senior center, Sheila Daly grew up here, and her family was here for years before that, so she might have some fun, you know.
We're trying to cover as many as possible, and some of them would be we're trying to get 52 stories, so that some of them will be covered through the paper, but most of it will be through social media, and some live as well, in a panel and little coffee conversations. So we're trying to get as much stock, as many stories as possible. Some with an intergenerational component of newer residents interviewing older residents, or youth interviewing as well. So just anybody you can think of, this person
Did we
would
say
be really.
David Sinclair already?
One of the owners of Hollow Tree Self-Storage, you could get his name through John Hertz. His great-grandfather was a blacksmith, and right in one of the little farmhouses across from Halstead on the Post Road. So he might have some great photos for you. I can't remember his name.
And David Sinclair, who for a long time ran the nature center, but also he did the boat, right? He helped
I
coordinate
have
the
contact
project.
with him if you need
Yeah.
it for David. Yep, I can get you that.
He's got
There's
great
a bunch of people.
covers all over town.
So keep thinking and
Yeah.
bring those names.
And
Thank you for social media, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is huge.
And the reminder for this meeting, Michelle's email is on there, so you can email me or you can,
Okay.
her contact is on there.
Okay.
Everybody here and who's listening over the television, on November 21st, which is a week from tomorrow, Thursday, 11 o'clock at the library, we're doing another town hall informational town forum. So the library, thank you to the library. They're hosting that. So everybody, it's free, 11 o'clock, Thursday the 21st. Anybody else? Is there any new business? Oh, a couple of things. We had some, thanks to Susan, we had some people come over for this Discover New Canaan. They're not, they did the brochure. And it's kind of a commercial thing, but also we were thinking about putting the historical markers on here. You know, there's maps and things with.
The Heritage Trail, I thought you guys.
A little heritage trail, yeah. So that's something we're thinking about. Most of it, I think, will be funded by the businesses.
It would be turnkey. It's two women who have created this promotion company. So their fee would be paid for, and the cost would be liquidated through the, sponsorships of the businesses to participate. They would probably be able to be showcased in some way into, since it's all created, you can do any kind of different element that you want. I think it has a lot of merit. They're very, very creative, and it's a way to have someone else do all the work and involve the community in a different way. And it might not be as an expensive way as maybe one of the higher level sponsorships, but you can bring in more businesses in an affordable way that also they can benefit from the exposure. I think it's worth pursuing. I think you need to, I don't know what happened after your meeting,
Yeah,
where
we
it
talked
stands,
about
how much
it was
you
pretty
want to,
favorable, but yeah.
you want to go with this.
Yeah, I thought so. And
If it needs a
we
vote,
we need another meeting, because to discuss a few details about it, maybe with Lori and Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we need to finalize the markers before we do the trail, but this is really cool work.
The presentation is really well done.
Yeah.
it will bring it to life, and it's just another way to
I think it's
extend
Totally cool.
it and get people to explore.
And it'll be great for the town. Our town is very walkable, in addition to it's just, it's a very cool idea.
I did meet with Gina Bloom, and she is at home in Darien, so they have this, I think, 3 times a year. And we're going to have, Claire is actually writing it up, we're going to have a one-page spread about the history and the events, about the bicentennial. Yeah, so that's good. And she's also doing this, it's an intergenerational thing with kids and like their grandparents or their parents. They paint rocks and kind of go on a treasure hunt or something like that. They may do like 200, because of 200 years ago. Sarah may be working with them as well.
It would be great to connect that project with the Sussex
great
Wood.
idea.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, that's something to really think about. So, I don't know if you know Gina, but, she's
She
right
works with
there.
our department, so I can
Right.
easily,
yeah,
and she's close.
yeah.
Right around the corner.
Right there, yeah. So that would be a great thing to do, I think. Is there any other, yeah?
So I'm getting serious about the time capsule. And I have some library staff interested, but if anyone's interested in joining that subcommittee, I guess we're calling it, we're probably gonna shoot for a first meeting, like beginning of December. We have a really good example from Bridgeport, you know, from,
Oh, did you contact?
not yet, but
Okay,
I
but
looked
yeah,
through
you
his
went through.
materials and it's
Yeah.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
We just have to make some decisions. But we should coordinate, like if you're reaching out to the schools, like we'll be asking them, you know, for things too, so,
I work with some students
yeah.
who I told them about and they're
Yeah.
very excited, so
Yeah.
I'll send them your way.
Yeah, so we're gonna get going with that and make a timeline. Was there any event that it should coincide with that you were thinking?
I think we
Like the
talked about
Heritage
it.
I
Day
don't know if
or?
they'll have it by then.
Or maybe, yeah, or Heritage
Heritage
Day.
Day.
Like,
I
I
think
just
it's in
thought-
October,
That
That
Heritage
gives
Day.
you
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
maybe towards the end of the year and include things that were done during this
Oh,
year.
yeah, that's a great idea.
Maybe it's like
You
the
could
closing
include a lot
ceremony.
of
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yeah, include a lot of
That's
material.
Something
Great.
for
It's great,
Yeah, time they open it up,
Or even just some.
Maybe in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
Incorporate
good.
some things.
Save
that
you.
we're going to do.
Save you from another event.
Until I'm not.
Also,
Council
yeah,
enthusiast.
Keith Keeler from the chairman of the, or he's in the history department in the high school.
Okay.
He did in Bridgeport,
Yeah.
and so we're kind of in contact with him.
Yeah.
He sent us some interesting information about what he did in Bridgeport. So things are moving forward. If anybody wants to volunteer, set up cleanup or other things for the opening ceremony, we still do need some volunteers. Reaching out to some of the docents of the history, some of the high school students.
Do you need like Boy Scout type volunteers or who was saying that they should get school volunteers?
Was there a Boy Scout contact for the
She was here at the last meeting.
Lucy
Oh,
was
no,
on
the
that.
teacher, she was the history,
Oh,
the.
yeah.
What about
Lucy.
the teacher?
We talked
What
to
about
her.
the teacher? I
We
thought she
talked
was
to
gonna
her.
get her.
Yeah, yeah,
She's
we're
probably
talking
good, yeah,
with
she's
Lucy.
really doing
Lucy.
Well, no, I think he was talking about like the ceremony, right?
For ushers and people sitting at the
Yeah,
table.
we're not talking about bartenders.
Got it.
Anyway, but
I like
anybody,
those
we need
guys.
adults, we need adults
It'll
also,
be
so
some.
anybody here, feel free. Is there, the floor is open, anybody else? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn? All those, and seconded?
Seriously. Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? But thank you, everybody, thank you very
If
much.
anyone want a shirt, please let me know, please.